Alright guys, this is my first deck profile, and I wanted to show you guys how my Cyber Dragon deck has came since the original. So first things first, we have the three basic Cyber Dragon, alright? Cyber Dragon's kind of, your main key card in the deck. Next, we've got three Cyber Dragon's Way, or Zui, however you pronounce it. This is kind of a mini useful card in Cyber Dragon decks, as is the Proto Cyber Dragon, which I have two of. Most people run three, but I have found running three from my deck is slightly not very consistent. Then I only run one Cyber Dragon Core because the spell and trap cards don't really fit very well in my deck. But up next we have three Cyber Dragon Dry to help out with a lot of the rank 5 exceeds or being able to special summon your Cyber Dragons from the graveyard when he's banished. And then I have one Cyber Eltanin. He goes around cards that say that they can't be destroyed, so that tends to help out a lot. And then we have two Cyber Kirin, seeing as they avoid the burn effect of the power bonds in the deck. Next, we've got a little bit of a different playstyle than most people run. We have two Trigodia, partly because of their ability to be special summoned, and then they get bigger for every card in your hand. Then we have two Doom Caliber Knight to stop, effect monsters that would destroy your cards on the field. Then we run, obviously, one Honest. Since most of the deck is light, the cards you don't want to be destroyed are going to be light. Then we have the two Card Troopers, which tend to be useful for stopping, are useful for fueling your Cyber Eltanin. And then, now, to make use of some of the dark monsters in deck, we have two Chaos Sorcerers, since the banned limited list is now allowed to be for two, and one BLS for a little bit of chaos in the deck. That assists the monsters. Next we have spells. One of the spells being the Limiter Removal, since the deck is obviously all machine. Then I have one Instant Fusion, which will make sense later on. And then I have Book of Moon, which tends to stop cards like, Ophian and other monsters that say it can't be special summoned. And then three Power Bond, since they are your main special summon card for your fusion monsters, other than the Cyber Dragon Nova. Two Evolution Burst, to easily destroy your opponent's monsters as well as their spells and traps. One Cyber Repair Plant, because I found two being a little unfilling. Three MST, to stall out your monsters, or stall out your opponent more by getting rid of their spells and traps. And one Reasoning, to fill your graveyard more for your chaotic monsters. Lastly, we have spells. I run one Starlight Road, two Mirror Forces, because you don't want your opponent's monsters getting through your attacks, two Light of Intervention, and two DNA Surgery, which work well together because this can be used to stop your opponent's monsters, and can be used to fuel your Chimera Tech Fortresses, and this can make it to where your opponent can't have monsters face down. Dimensional Prison is another card I run because, as I said, you don't want your opponent's monsters getting through. Trap Stun, that way you are able to attack, and your opponent's trap cards don't stop your monsters the way they are. And then the Cyber Network, because it's an easy way to flood your field with machine-type monsters to get their effects off. And there's already a lot of banishing going on as it is. Next, we have the extra deck. I run one Shark Fortress because it's big on dual attacking, and you could have it out with the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon or your Cyber End Dragon after it's been power bonded, and have big attacks for most likely game. Then I have one Cyber End Dragon because there's enough summoning going on using your Cyber Dragons that most of the time you don't ever get Cyber End Dragon unless it's with Nova. Then I have two Cyber Twin, because he's Cyber Twin and he can attack twice, and with Power Bond he gets really big. Then I have one Stardust Dragon to play off the Starlight Road. Then I have one Constellar Pleiades because he gets he's able to bounce monsters back and forth. Then I have 3 Cyber Dragon Novas because they are amazing, and they work really well. They're not exactly amazing, but they work really well with the playstyle of the deck. 1 Chimera Tech Overdragon because it does another one of those if it sends all monsters or cards in the field to the graveyard, but it affects yours. But it can go for a quick attack in game for the more materials used for it. Then I have Cybersaurus, which is the reason why I have Instant Fusion. You can pay 1,000 life points with the Instant Fusion and summon Cybersaurus after special summoning a Cyber Dragon. Normal summon Dre, or Dry, and then if you have it, you can overlay for a rank 5 monster and still have an extra monster on the field to beat down with. Then we have 3 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, which this is actually one of my main cards in the deck because not only is it a big beat stick, it can also take your opponent's monsters with DNA Surgery. And yeah, that's my deck. I mean, it hasn't won any playstyle, it hasn't won any tournaments yet, and right now the extra deck is only 14 because I have yet to be able to get a hold of the Volcasaurus that I want to run. So thank you, and comment down below.